Hello, welcome back to the shop. Today we are going to take a look at some socket adapters for impact guns. And these things have been around for a long time, but these are a little bit different. These are locking. So they should retain the socket on the tool, which is really, really handy. There's two different lengths. I got both. And they're pretty interesting. So it works just like your regular locking socket extension. It looks as though the collar slides back, and that's how it locks. These are made in Taiwan, if you're keeping track of that. Alright, so we got these open, and there's really nothing crazy, other than they roll well, that is in the literature of them, other than they're locking. There's nothing really other than a pictogram that shows you how to use them. It should be relatively intuitive. So let's take a look here. And we'll get this on our impact gun. And then this is the 1/2 inch. And you can put your tool on that. And it appears as though you can push it on, but then you need to release it. So when you push this in, the whole thing goes in and releases. So I don't know. I guess it would be okay, because if you're pushing in to use the tool, the socket won't come off. And as long as the spring return works well, it's going to retain the socket. So here, if I pull this back, I can pull the socket off. So that's not, it's decent, it holds, and obviously the hex is held on the tool. So I don't think I dislike that system. That's actually kind of interesting. Let's try the extended one. Same thing. It's locked in there. Can't really pull it off. Pull it back and it comes off. So I don't think that's necessarily bad. Let's try the 3/8. So we got the 1/4 or the 1/2 inch. Let's go to the 3/8. Put that on our tool. We will put that on. And one nice thing that allows you to do is just push the tool right on, and it's retained. Let's go ahead and test the 3/8 extended one. Same thing. Holding it on there relatively well. Let's go to 1/4 inch. So we have a 1/4 inch impact socket. Same thing. Seems like it works well. And let's test the long one. Pushes on. So I guess it comes down to, let's take a look at this one up close. You can see this hex piece moves. There's a little bit of a driving. I don't know if they did that on purpose or if that's just the way it works. Presumably this shaft has a detent in it the size of the ball, and it allows the ball to basically clear the pocket in the socket. So I could see these getting stiff if they get dirty. In fact, this 1/4 inch extended one, I don't know if you can hear this, already sounds like it's a little bit dirty. In fact, you can kind of see where that's been rubbing. So I would say the Achilles heel of these would be dirt. I don't think it's a bad setup because you really having something locking on your tool is a great advantage. You don't have to worry about dropping things. So if we have this socket on here, it's not going to go anywhere. It's captured on the tool, and I can kind of understand where anything with push buttons or what have you and impact, you're going to blow the guts out of the mechanism. So I think this is what they came up with, where it's just a simple spring that allows the tool to retract, much akin to how the collars of these tools already work. So I think this is actually a pretty good idea. I just think you need to be aware of dirt getting into the mechanism. And you may be able to just flush it out with some WD-40 or something if you get dirt in them. But I think this is a good idea. I don't know how else you would do it, because if you had a push button or a lever like a lot of the locking tools have, you'd blow the guts out of it. And I think that's what happens to some of this stuff when people get it. They say, their tools aren't any good and they break, and I think that's why. So overall, I think this is great. We're going to put these in rotation and see how they hold up. I like that there's an extended version. I like longer extensions for getting into areas when you're working in panels or something like that. It's really easy to get your knuckles ripped up when you're tight in something. And even though these tools aren't all that bulky, it's still, you always seem to get bound up with the tool. So seeing an extension is nice. That's a nice feature. I would also mention, always try to use impact rated sockets with this stuff. These guns are starting to get more power, and you can destroy normal sockets, especially if they're cheapies. You can have a socket kind of catastrophically fail on you, and pieces of metal might go flying, and they may fly into you. So always be careful with that. This has been one of those things where if you're a younger person getting into tools and starting to buy stuff, I would actually say to buy yourself a set of impact sockets right off the bat. You can get 12-point impact sockets if you want 12-point, but realistically 6-point would be better, but you're better off just buying a set of impact sockets because these go on any ratchet. They'll work on a hand ratchet, they'll work on an air ratchet, they'll work on this impact gun, they'll work on an air impact gun, they'll work on many, many things. So if you don't want to have multiple sets of tools everywhere, starting with impact sockets, I think, is the best way to go. To each their own, but if you're trying to minimize the amount of stuff you have, I would start with impact sockets. And you can get deep impact sockets, you can get pretty much all the same stuff in impact as you can. And impact stuff has gotten a lot more affordable. It's a little bit more robust. It'll take the abuse a little bit more. So just for what that's worth. And these new extension adapters and the shorter version, I think, are a great way to use those impact sockets with even more tools. So I hope this was interesting. Hope you enjoyed seeing that. Maybe you didn't know about these things. Maybe you did. If you have these and you like them, let me know in the comments below. If you have them and you don't like them, Let me know why you don't like them, and if they failed, how they failed. I'd like to know that sort of stuff. It shares things with the viewers. People have firsthand experience with this stuff, and they can see maybe it's a good product for them or not. I think all tools are interesting. It's fun to try stuff out, but again, you don't want to waste your money on something that really isn't overly functional, or it's not functional for very long. So if you have these and you've used them, let me know how they've held up. We'll throw them in the rotation here, but it'll take a while for me to get them to use them, and maybe I don't put them through what other people did. So let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one, and have a great day.